Yeah, it's a trade-off of how strong Alistar is into Rel and some of the Rel engages and how you can just straight up deny. You can even deny Nefiri engages if played correctly really well with this pick. But yeah, the trade-off is the laning phase, especially into a Corki. Still extremely healthy as well as mana healthy, means that UCal could potentially look to do this again. Now, here comes Owner and Keria.
I think UCal may need to use some abilities. He flashes, Sponge is here, but UCal is really dead. That is going to be first blood going over to Owner. And just a little greedy is good old UCal, even
UCal,
using the flash.
You've been in this league for so long. You know, you took a little break, but the Faker taunt got you really...
Drops are spawning, but he's in the bottom lane without teleport, so never mind. That's not going to really pay too much of a difference here, as Owner now in trouble. On the level 5, as Sponge goes untargetable, but Owner's very targetable. It's UCal that grabs that kill here as Keria has to get out of there, and these grubs belong to DRX.
Here for DRX, but as you mentioned, arguably more importantly, grubs going over as well. Denying grubs from an Azir always feels really good here.
Yeah. Doran now Sponge throwing some daggers around. Doran was on the mind because he's in the top lane without Equalizer available. So won't be able to affect this fight here, as UCal once again softening up Keria. He's only level 4, as that's a steal from Sponge. And Owner now trying to get out of there, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. They just close the gap on that Crescent Guard as Faker looks for the Emperor's Divide. He gets it. Sponge goes untargetable, flashes from Keria, and Keria will be taken down. It's Andal that gets the kill, but now he's right on top of this teleport. The curtains, they've been called, doesn't land onto Sponge for the last bullet, and it's highway robbery!
And Doran TP's in for nothing!
One of the classic Keria God plays, you know, gets the 3-man knock-up, then all of the AoE is layered. Doran might actually get there in time. Oh, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation for Grubs now, for DRX as well.
Yeah, they get Dragon, they're looking for more.
Well, Keria only level 5 here, and Sponge still trying to keep it interesting, but T1 should be able to get 2 of them. Good untargetable there as Andal. He's got other things on his mind. Shattering Strike comes down as Doran uses a very defensive ultimate. UCal still doing a lot of damage though, as we can see, as Sponge is just bouncing around the rift. Another teleport to come in, this time from Faker. And Rich has followed suit, looking for an angle here as this scuffle will continue. Faker bleeding for now, but it's Andal that's the target and he will be taken down immediately. It's traded though as Owner. That's a phenomenal ult, but I think he's still dead. The bleed is ticking and he's still going to be taken out. That is a UCal with a double. And this Aurora is going to be mega fed this game.
I remember too, at the beginning of the fight, UCal had an opportunity to ult to kill Doran and decided not to use it because he knew there was higher value.
UCal.
What a sick play there from UCal as well.
Is this 2018 LCK Summer Champion UCal?
It seems like it. Also just continue to push this as
T1
reset.
-1 in the chat. Oh, UCal's going to basically be behind Faker.
Look at UCal's gold lead.
Yeah.
At even CS, so 3 kills now, first brick.
And full local gold for first brick. There it goes.
Yeah.
Now 1.5.
And a really nice position. Keria blocking the entry here.
I've seen this one before. Sponge looking for another heist angle. He is in the pit. Owner is going to spot him out. His daggers are not connecting. Rich on that flank angle, but he's on that ward. And headbutt out. No Magnet Storm for you, Andal. Still Keria taking a lot of damage. That is going to be the Drake going over to Owner. Somehow that Shock Blast is actually going to miss. That's going to force Rich to flash away. Some decent damage here for the Between Worlds, but the answering Deadly Flourish is too good. And there is the shutdown. Straight over to the GOAT as T1. They'll take the Drake and a whole bunch more.
You can follow up on that. UCal ults that group instead of ulting here. And I think at this point, the fight is clearly over.
Well, there's an Emperor's Divide. Rich cannot go to the skies because he's been to the skies recently. UCal is going to come down and see what he can do here as Doran is dead. Faker is under the turret, sets up his own, but I think UCal will have enough damage to finish this off. It's going to take a bit of time as he flashes as well. Finally, the auto comes in, and that's a double kill for the guy that just died. I think that's pretty good reparations there.
UCal taking that turret aggro doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, getting the bone plating at the right timing there as well for Faker keeps him alive for that one extra auto attack, but the Sundist doesn't do enough, so...
Certainly can commit to it.
Yeah, he's pinging, and Andal is going to get headbutt pulled. Will need to get out of here, I think, and does do so. T1 will let him live for the minute. Speaking of letting things live, Rich is going to not let the turret live. We'll take that one down. The rest of T1 a little bit slow in the rotation, won't be able to stop the Jace.
From the tank builds of Jace we were watching a lot earlier this year.
Yeah, the Drake going to be taken here by T1. That's going to be their prize after they do push Rich away. Half on the Chemtech Drake. But there is also a Baron coming up. This is Yukal. Oh, there's another headbutt ball. Carrier really wanted to pick up player of the match today, and I'll give it to him. That's going to be Ona taking down the kill off the back of the cow.
It's just on a ward there, and now they can get whatever they want. They want Herald, they want Otacon, they want this top turret. They're going to start with Otacon, which is a bit of a scary choice.
Flanking. Carrier coming in, looking for it again. As Sponge going untargetable. Rich with some shock blast angles potentially. That equalizer, great spot, but Faker just wipes them off it. Andal trying to stay alive, and he will fail.
Teddy coming up here. Rich has this turret to play through.
Oh, God. Well, can the shock blast actually land? That's the question. The answer is no, because he's going to be dead. Carrier diving in one more time, and the doggo's on the ground. Teddy, another one of these doggos, is going to be in a bit of trouble as Carrier is down to 1 health, but he is still able to walk his way out. The flash comes in from Teddy, and that should still keep him alive. Okay, Yukal's flashing forward, does manage to take down the jungler. That might mean that Otacon is going to be okay. Deadly Flourish coming on in here as the 1-2 punch, and it's a double! Teddy, I don't know about that one though. The captive audience goes off, and I think Teddy knew that he was dead. Guma just comes on over and punishes. Andal's back up one more time.
Kill Doran, which stops any potential Otacon take, but Teddy does give his life for it, and we reset.
Well, Andal crashing forward, and the curtains, they have been called. Andal, I mean, he's just dead. Sand Soldiers will take him down. Sponge a little bit late on that on-targetability, but it might be enough to get himself out of there. Unbeknownst, as he's now spotted.
Yukal is still big.
Okay, Carrier is going to try and get in there. Sponge going untargetable. Emperor's Divide is going to throw Yukal in. He pops on over as Carrier likely to go down, but I think that's a decent trade. They've taken down the jungler as well. Not sure what Teddy was doing, and now Ona is going to be able to transition this into a Baron. Somehow it worked. I have no idea how that all sort of worked into itself, but it's, I mean, T1, I guess, calculated.
I mean, there's just so many objectives to take. There was not a lot of vision for DRX, but I think they really liked that game. Lemmings, do you remember that game where, they kind of walked forward? They didn't. I mean, I don't know if they might just win the game off this.
Well, Ona once again going in, gets the knock up, and down goes the doggo. The curtains have been called, and it may just be curtains on this game. Faker picking up a kill to start this one off. Carrier tanking as much as he would like. Remember, they have the withdraws at the same time, as Guma not quite able to land that one, but he flashes forward, and that should finish off the kill onto Rich. Doran realizing that a whole bunch of his buddies are no longer here. Ona not going to actually get recalled because he did have a GA. He's got 3 items. This Xin Zhao is so incredibly large. They take the inner turret, and they're going to break open the base.
Yeah, Doran's just looking to grab an inhibitor on his way out here. Andal will be the first to respawn. Dodges the initial CC. Faker has the follow-up ult, and that is a dead dog.
Oh, man.
And I guess all dogs go to heaven, but T1 is looking to send them there again. I mean, look, with the withdrawals that they have, there's like no loss here.
So well. And Faker now looking for an opportunity onto Yukal. Deadly Flourish connecting somehow. I didn't even see that. Double Pulverize comes through from Carrier. The layering of the equalizer is not quite enough, but that doesn't matter. I don't know about the ulti there from Yukal, but I think he was just really, really scared. And who would blame him as T1 are bearing down on the base of DRX. It was a decent try. The early game was okay. Yukal kind of got fed, and then it mattered about 0.
T1 are just so good at playing the map, so good at playing around vision. Their coordination is matched by very few teams in the world as Teddy is trying to hold the wave. I get he's dead.
I mean, he might actually kill both of them. Doran comes in with a scrap shield, so he's not going to die, as Faker was almost bleeding to death, but he's got some honey fruit here. Has augmented those first couple of items that felt underwhelming with an Infinity Edge and a Lord Dom, so he's doing plenty of damage now. Doran might need to be a little bit careful, I guess, but maybe he also doesn't, as Ona goes in, almost 3 taps. Sponge gets in another couple, and Faker is the one that actually finishes it off in the end. Equalizer just to celebrate, as Carrier looking for a bit of an angle here. He'll be able to get there, and my God, the damage of this Xin Zhao is obscene. And it's actually Gumayushi that finishes off a bunch of these kills. Doran, maybe move a little bit further out so you don't die to the Nexus turrets, but it doesn't matter. It's an ace. That's going to be the Nexus going down, and T1 in their first game looking pretty good. If Carrier plays it really well, he could have some pretty amazing angles.
I'll be honest with you. If you take the nameplates away, I feel like DRX has a giga draft gap here.
Oh dear, okay. Still, that doesn't mean that Sponge can press an R button because he still doesn't have that one available. One grub has now been taken as Carrier looking for a grand entrance angle. The charm goes wide. That could spell the end for UCal, but still looking for an angle. Flash out from Sponge as Guma level 5, but does have that make it rain to slow him down.
Splat on the windshield kind of situation.
Yeah.
But he flashed it. It's okay. He's good.
Yeah. So no insect for Andil, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
3 grubs went over to T1, but that is it when it comes to the objectives. Owner looking to augment that with a dragon at the same time, but now Sponge has an R button, presses it, the charm is going to be found here, and this is the Ari-Vi combo. Not a lot Faker can do. Goes down very low, but Carrier, not enough to save him, and he's going to have to flash to safety as well.
There's certainly a lot of trading and aggression.
Yeah, certainly things are happening.
Yeah, I think it might be a ruinous game, with all the time. No, not quite, but...
ruinous game with like a 9-minute first blood and only 1 kill here at 11 minutes.
Some of the damage done in lane and skirmishes does add up.
And it is worth more now.
If UCal gets here, I think T1 need to evacuate. They cannot actually, they will just be chain CC. That single target blow up is absolutely real.
Yeah. So Smite going to be invested here, and it looks like DRX are just going to give up the remaining 2 grubs.
We can't engage on them, and also we're losing plates, so they had to make the decision to back away.
Ooh, another Smite actually available here for Sponge, so he'll be able to grab the second one, but still 4-2. T1 going to have some Void Mites to help them out, and that's going to be feeling pretty good.
Really do like how T1 are using turrets and lane pressure to help secure these objectives.
He's backing and doesn't have teleport, so it looks like it is just going to be a give up on the dragon type scenario.
Potentially first brick here on this dive if they commit.
Yeah.
They won't though.
So it is just the dragon going down. Mountain Soul this game as well. Their way over. Sonic Wave going to go wide. And with some fancy footwork, but now Faker looking to try and take this turret down, and
the turret means feats of strength for them if he actually takes it. So it's worth if they just give this up. TP going to come down to try to defend it.
Yeah, so down he goes. Faker should just be able to focus on this though, and you can see that is exactly what he wants, and there it is. Feats of strength going on over, and the charm is even going to miss. Faker, I feel like he has lost lane twice in a row, but is always the one that finds the most advantages.
By finishing it off, and that's exactly what he did.
Ooh, Owner and Carrier all diving in. There's a public execution, and Rich, in the blink of an eye, is just dead. Yeah, you saw the little head movement there in the player cam. He's just like, well, I guess I'm dead. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there.
Pulling it out of some big turrets that T1 are killing with their grub lead.
Still connects.
Nice catch by Owner.
Yeah, it may have missed, in fact. As cease and desist does come on through, Owner will, in fact, cease and or desist the living thing. And Teddy's going to be able to grab himself a kill. That was almost an inner turret taken down. Though, is going to take the majority of his health bar. And, yeah, he's not feeling too great about it. Does get a bit of a heal, as that's a great charm from UCal. But another public execution as Teddy flashes out of the way and will be able to survive. UCal grabbing that kill, big deal, to try and get some more money onto the Ari.
And he sees Faker on the other side.
True.
I wouldn't mess with me back then, so I'm out of here. So we'll get more value out of the level up he'll get, but unfortunately he won't be here for this dragon, so it looks like DRX are just simply going to take their first of the game. And with a pretty tanky, high health Ari build with some additional resistances, if they keep stacking these, UCal is going to love it.
Because I often say about things written on tins,
yeah,
what does it actually say on the tin? As we're going to have to hold that thought. Owner throwing Sponge out of there. Delivered underneath the turret is slightly suboptimal, and immediately Sponge just goes down. Can they get the answering kill, though, as Doran is dancing away from the fight? Charm connects on a Faker, but he is still looking for more. Chains go wide. Rich still at full health, and Faker may have overextended, but he's got another dash. The cavalry are coming down, but they're seen on the vision as the quickness dives forward, and there's the bullet time. They take down the Rakan, though. It was an awkward situation, and the turret is also going to fall.
They do end up pulling it off, grabbing that turret. The game is still even. They're looking for another turret here to make it basically dead even in terms of gold.
Yeah, slight advantage, in fact, here for DRX.
So much vision control. It's really tough for T1 to fight into this.
Yeah, so much of this vision has already been taken away here, as they can just wait out the Sonic Wave.
Look at how careful Teddy is positioning. He's like, I'm way back.
Yeah, and he needs to stay away from Faker, because a hijacked arrow could be a real big deal.
Exactly.
For T1 as Carrier on that flank angle, and he gets into the pit. Now it's an opportunity to kick out onto Andal through Rich here, but it is going to be Faker that locks down the dragon. That's kind of crazy. Sponge goes in, but Rich is in amongst it as well. The bullet time interrupted pretty quickly, but DRX are just kind of melting. Finally, they find some angles, and Rich getting the huge heals as he looks to exit. It was an even fight until then. Faker dives forward, looks for Rich, but he doesn't get it. The Infernal Chains, and it's UCal that locks down the kill. Orbit Deception coming on through here, but there's a right click, and Gumayushi's able to take down the Ahri.
In game one,
They're
looking
not
to do
a
it.
single ward.
Yeah, it's exact same situation as game one.
All right, well, the arrow is going to connect onto Doran. This Otacon is extraordinarily low as UCal looking to make his way in. The public execution is fantastic as Faker is going to turn up as well. He picks up an arrow. Down goes Carrier to start this one off, but Faker's gone golden. He's bought so much time, and Rich just cannot do enough. He's now looking to get onto Doran in that backline, but he's just a distraction. As now Rich flapping after them, looking for a bit of an angle here. Go a little bit wide. But yeah, I mean look, that bullet time just didn't feel like it did quite enough as Doran once again caught out of position. The Infernal Chains pulls him back, but he uses the ulti, and Sponge is actually the one that falls down. This time, Carey is able to keep himself alive, and Rich is trying to be the hero, but it's not enough. He's CC'd and put down, and now T1 will find themselves that advantage they've been looking for.
And we had the fight, you know, we jumped into it a little bit late. I'd love to see exactly how the setup worked and how T1, how DRX thought they were going to win that exchange or the engage there, but put themselves in such a risky spot, and Teddy is just not able to actually front to back with his team when the front line goes in that deep. And I'm sorry, that's all I got. You guys were way too far away. You were way too split. I can't offer anything here. And that's that. That's Otacon. That's Baron.
We've seen this before. But with a Mountain Soul available, I think Faker is definitely just a distraction at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, DRX are playing like they're the ones who have the withdrawals.
Oh, good dash to get out of the way of the arrow. And in the meantime, it is going to be Mountain Soul. Faker will be taken, or at least withdrawn. And now they're going in. Okay, Carrier is going to deliver Sponge to the rest of the team. And I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think Sponge was reminded about how his ultimate works by Carrier there in that moment.
Yeah, and also reminded that the rest of his team was off killing Faker as UCal going to be dashing away from Ona here.
You mean withdrawing Faker?
Yes, there we go. They were withdrawing Faker. Doran is going to try and ult, but does not quite manage to do so. Gumayushi just going to get them out of there, as Ona is continuing to chase UCal as much as he possibly can, while the rest of his team are looking to win the game. Faker has popped back up again, and he is just going to teleport to this mid lane. Ultimate from Andal not going to do too much, as Faker's going to land that arrow. That is no worries at all. Going golden as the rest of these Nexus turrets fall down, and T1, I mean, it was kept even for quite some time, but they dispatch of the Nexus immediately after finding just one fight.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.